Chapter 31. Roots Spreading Through Shadow. The formal summons arrived 3 days later. A thick white envelope, sealed with the emblem of the Han Holdings Group. His father hadn't sent it himself. That was deliberate, a statement. This is business, this is official, not sentiment. Jiho opened it at his small desk behind the caf. Through the glass, Nora was wiping tables. She saw his posture change, stiffening, as though bracing for a blow. He read it once, then again. Family Council meeting. Discussion of remaining asset distribution. Attendance mandatory. Remaining assets. That phrase alone told him this wasn't simple. His father had never concerned himself with remaining assets. He owned enough to sustain many lives. This was something else. Nora entered quietly, placed a coffee in front of him. A letter from the family? Yes, bad. I don't know yet. She sat across from him. Tell me the truth. You're not afraid of the letter. You're afraid of whoever sent it. He looked at her. She always saw what he refused to say. When I was 17, he began, his voice low, my father told me I wasn't useful for anything. I was in my room studying for university entrance exams. I wanted to study literature. I told him. He said, literature doesn't build empires. You're not talented enough to be a writer. You're not clever enough to be a businessman. You're just here. Nora looked at his hands. They were trembling faintly. Those words are still with me, every day. Even when I succeed at something, I hear them in my head. Why are you telling me this? Because I want to understand something. How did you manage to be strong without a father who told you that you were? Nora was quiet. Then, because I learned that real strength comes when there is no one to tell you you're strong. When you must be strong for yourself and for others because no one else will do it. But that's exhausting. Yes, that's the cost. Jiho stood, put the letter in his drawer. I'll go to the meeting, and if he tries to force you into something, I'll stand against him. This time I'll stand. Nora said nothing, but she rose, extended her left hand, and placed it on his shoulder for 1 second. Then withdrew. That small touch was more than Jiho had expected. That same day, in So-yeon's apartment downstairs, another story was shifting. Nora had noticed that So-yeon hadn't opened the door that morning when she passed something that had never happened before. Even in her hardest weeks, So-yeon had always stood at the threshold to see Hana off. After dropping the children, Nora returned. Knocked. No answer. Knocked again, harder. The door opened after a minute. So-yeon was dressed for work, but her face was pale and her eyes red. What's wrong? Nora asked. So-yeon said nothing. She moved inside and sat on the sofa, beside her court papers. I won the case, she said in a voice drained of feeling. The divorce, official, it's over. That's wonderful news, but he isn't imprisoned. Nora stopped. So-yeon raised her eyes. The judge said he posed insufficient danger to society to warrant imprisonment. Only a restraining order, no approaching me or Hana. But a restraining order is just paper. If he decides to come, he will come. She would call the police, they would arrive, he would leave and then return. Nora studied the papers. Korean law around domestic violence had gaps not in its letter but in its enforcement. The real danger wasn't legislation, it was follow-through. When did this start? After the incident, after you helped push him away from Hana. Something cold moved through Nora's back. The man who had attacked her in the street, the man she'd taken down, had not only been targeting her. He was targeting anyone who stood between him and what he believed was his. I'll help you find better work, Nora said quietly, shifting the weight of the conversation. I know some people, the bakery owner. Perhaps he needs someone with accounts. You don't need a degree for that, only honesty. So-yeon looked at her. Why do you do this? You're not obliged. Because I know what it feels like to be alone, without anyone. So-yeon was quiet. Then she wept, still silently, as she always wept. But this time it wasn't only fear. There was something else in it. Gratitude.